Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you do not own this book, buy one immediately. You will find it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 173, problem solving, number 155. Let's take a look at it. It says a positive number x is multiplied by 2. Alright, so a positive number x is multiplied by 2. And this product is then divided by 3. And this product is then divided by 3. If the positive square root of the result, and don't worry about the positive square root, just square root of the results of these two operations equals x. The question simply is, what's the value of x? I'll tell you what. Before I actually go ahead and solve this problem in the manner that you expect me to solve it, let's just leave it in abeyance right now. And let me talk to you for a little bit. I'm going to talk about a few things and just listen to me what I have to say. And then we'll come back and solve these questions. But for the time being, as I said, keep it in abeyance. And if you don't know what abeyance means, look it up and learn it. It doesn't hurt. I'm not a great speller, so here is the spelling. I had to make sure the spelling was correct. I'm going to do a few problems with you and see what you can tell me. Here's the first one. If I tell you the square root of 7p, the square root of 7 times p equals 7, the question simply is, what would p be? What would p be? In other words, the square root of what number? Square root of what number equals 7? Well, we know square root of 49 equals 7. Of course, the answer is 49. Therefore, we gather that 7 times 7 has to equal 7. What do you notice? What do you notice? I hope that you notice. So since we have 7 times p and we are told the product of these two equals 7, back to where we started here, the only number whose square root is going to equal 7 is 7 times 7. So this p would have to be 7 as we just found here. This is your p right here. 7 times p, square root of that equals 7. So p would have to be 7. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. If I tell you that square root of 3 times x equals 3, what do you suppose x might be? Square root of what number equals 3? 9. Hence, x would have to be 3, wouldn't it? Because the square root of 3 times 3 equals 3. So x will have to be 3, because 3 times 3 equals 3, because we have a 3 here, is being multiplied by some other number, and we get back to 3. The only number that the 3 can multiply by, and when we take a square root of it, we get back to 3, is 3 itself, because that's what square root means. Square root means, what is that number which, when multiplied by itself, gives us 3. So this has to be 3. Let's do one more. If I tell you, let me use a different color, let me use a blue color. I don't know if you can actually tell the difference or not, but let's do one more. If I tell you that square root of 5 times t equals t, let's do a little bit different here. This time I did a little bit different. This implies that t would have to be 5. T would have to be 5 because square root of 5 times 5 equals 5. You see? 5 is being multiplied by some number. 5 is being multiplied by some number, and when we take the square root of that product, we get back to that same number again. The only number that this t can multiply, since this is 5, the only number that this t can be is 5, because 5 times 5 is going to get us back to 5. Let's do one more. I'm going to erase this part now because I need the room. Similarly, if I tell you the square root of 3/5 times y equals y, what do you suppose y would have to be? Let me take a look at the camera here. I'm already almost 6 minutes into it, so I'm going to wrap it up. Y would have to be 3/5. Y would have to be 3/5 because square root of 3/5 times 3/5 will give us 3/5. Y would have to be 3/5. Similarly, if I tell you the square root of 9/11 times a equals a would have to be 9/11 because the square root of 9/11 times 9/11 is going to give me 9/11. Here what we have is, let me get back to the original problem. Here what we have is square root of 2/3 times x equals x. This x would have to be 2/3 because 2/3 times 2/3 is going to get you back to 2/3 because this have to be same. If this number has to be same as that number, then this number has to be same as that because the product of the two same numbers will give us back to the x. X equals 2/3. That's all. That's all it is. Now I'm going to solve the problem in a proper way if you like. So here we go. 2x over 3 equals x. You take the square of both sides. Take the square of both this side and square of this side. You end up with 2x over 3 equals x squared. Cross multiply, you end up with 3x squared equals 2x. Divide both sides by x. And you end up with 3x equals to 2. And that gives you x equals to 2/3. For those of you who are interested in seeing how to solve it in the classical way, this is the classical way, but I just explained to you the intuitive reason why it would have to be 2/3. Because 2/3 times 2/3, square root of 2/3 times 2/3 will give us 2/3 because these two numbers are the same. It has to be, this number has to be same as that because the only product whose number, the 2/3 times that number will be x is 2/3 itself. Just give me a second again. Alright, so that was it. I hope you understood it. I hope you found it helpful. I tried to explain to you on an intuitive level, and here's the classical work, the proper work as I put it, the classical work, the traditional work, the way you would expect it to solve the problem in. Most people, I don't know if they will say it or not, but it's very straightforward. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to buy my DVDs in which I show you the solutions to all the problems, or if you wish to hire me for personal private tutoring, in either case, go to my website at www.prep for GMAT.com and send me an email. Alright? Thank you.